Hi everyone, this is Tanya the Lady Strange. Welcome to my altar room. This is going to be the second one for today that I'm adding regarding a deck. This is going to be a deck review versus first impressions, as if I had this deck I think for a couple weeks now. I've been actively working with, not every day, but actively enough to actually give a honest, thorough, and respective review. This is a deck that there's a lot of it on TarotTube on this deck and being shown, and other people's showing it in their practice, their collection, and their arsenal, and as a magic tool and divination, and just a collective item. I found it on other channels. That's how I located it, and therefore I ordered it. And it's also make playing cards. It is a well-made deck. I do give it honestly for the quality that I have for the most part, and for the use of it so far, its voice, its evocativeness, and how I've already connected with it and channeled with it, and its energies and its resonance, and how much time and effort you can tell that the creator actually put the effort into the time and the connection and the reverence into of the tarot. Then I give this deck a 9 out of 10. The only complaints I have, of course, I'm human, I have complaints, and it's an honest review. That's how I look at it, as, especially when you're spending enough money on an indie deck, well, any deck for that matter, especially if you're a major collector like myself. I have like 130, 140 decks now between tarot and oracle, many of which I do use, some I do not, and they're kind of, kind of for the gag gift value, that type of thing, and just for the fun of it. And some I have yet to work with, but not the right time yet. So this is going to be, before I get too rambly, this is going to be the Lacrimossa Tarot by RoseBae. Now, I do not like boxes like this. The top boxes, they get a tendency to get ruined very quickly with just general use, even if you're very careful with them. But I love the black, and it's still better than not having something to store it in. I just may find I'll obviously an alternative, as I already have wear and tear on this in just a few weeks' time. But other than that, look, I love this. This deck is very, I love, obviously, black and red. Hello, look at my aesthetic, and look at my altar room and what I mentioned. Those are my primary colors. That's my primary resonance in my practice and what I connect with. But I also am a goth girl. I was a teen in the 90s. I still love and and inspired by my 90s. The 90s experience I've had and wanted to have. Both, we all had those types of things. But I can bring that to my adulthood. So this, again, is the Lacrimossa. I love the cross, and I love the black and red. That's one of the things that really attracted to me on this deck. So that's the box. Now, the other complaint I have real quick, and there could be more, I understand for many reasons, obviously. But comes with just a little pamphlet, as you can see here. Now, this deck has, with shipping and everything, had a lot, like 78, give or take, afterwards with tax, shipping, 78, 80-ish, $70 to $80 price range, give or take. So for that, I would expect more, since I have some decks that have been a phenomenal guidebook that are indie and quality for that price range. But again, these are just minor complaints. I do use the deck more intuitively and channel with it, as I do with many of my decks, and the basis of my almost 30 years of tarot and about 8 or 10 years oracle experience, but of my intuition and guidance and what I work with in my own spiritual practice. So I do give this deck, overall, other than those complaints, honestly, I give it a 9 out of 10. So not bad after having it this period of time. That's good. It does have high expectations. It really doesn't disappoint, the deck itself. I do like thicker cardstock, but it's not flimsy either. So then it would be sturdy enough for my practice. I'm not a riffle shuffler. It's a pet peeve of mine, but we all have our own pet peeves and our own preferences. To each their own, as I always say. So, again, there's a lot on TarotTube on this, but it does have a lot of, wow, yeah, a lot of religious iconography in it. Now, again, religious as in like Catholic Christian type of inspired art. In messages, you can kind of feel that. However, that does not deter me from using that. Obviously, if you watch any of my previous videos for a hot minute, you'll see that I am a left-hand path witch, an equal opportunity witch at that. So, what works with me and what resonates with me, and again, to each their own. This is just my own gnosis, my own experience, and how I feel and respond with this deck, and how the deities and spirits I work with also channel and work with me for my daily divination practice, my magical practice, my spiritual guidance, and also just the love in my collection, and how it honors myself and honors my human life experience too as a woman. So I didn't take out any special cards in this, but I love the black background, that how much the black space does and leaves open to the actual images in this deck. I love the coloration, especially the reds in this, hence the black and red, not to be repetitive. So again, it's got a beautiful feel and the quality. So yes, if you are on the fence about this deck and you're a collector, or you want to use in your practice, or appreciate good artwork, a good indie deck, and something that may be versatile or something to expand your practice, I would recommend this deck. So again, other than the minor things I have a complaint on, I can truly overlook them. So look at that. That's the background. Never mind the glare and the poor lighting in my altar room, of course. And then here's cards. I do like the borders, so I'm just going to show some of the cards on here. I love that. So the cups in this are hearts, as you can see. I love that, and I love the flame, obviously. So I love the aspect of the, the flaming heart and all that. And the heart, which speaks to the cups, which is love and emotions and feelings. So I do like that change. I don't really mind with most decks, to be honest, depending the name changes of the suits for tarot or anything like that that might be, or have words on them or a path. It all just depends, I guess, on, the deck itself and how I use it and work with it and how it speaks to me. Some of these images don't resonate with me. Some of them do. That one does. I pulled that one a few times. I love the shadowy aspect of it too, though. It's got a very shadowy aspect. It works well for me to honestly, and what speaks and channels through this deck a lot, honestly, is Hades. Hades appreciates a good lusty deck with knowledge, where he can give his wisdom, his authority, his truth, but justice, but also fairness, and wanting you to work for your own self and discipline. He does appreciate good, fine things in experience and gnosis, at least from my working and understanding with working with Hades for the past several years on a conscious and magical and spiritual level. And, of course, Lucifer likes to speak through this deck. He also is the same. They're very similar in a lot of their aspects and qualities, to be quite honest. Again, from my own gnosis and experience and practice, but also because he does appreciate great art, great wisdom, knowledge, expansiveness, and perception, and using things to be the bringer of light and guidance. Things to look at things from a different perspective. And not to be like such a dick about certain things like other things are, and other deities, but we'll just leave it that way. And religious and faith. You can still respect something for yourself, and overlook certain things or adjust them, even if it is something that oppresses you or pushes you down. You know what I mean? It's all about how you approach and you discern and your response versus being reactive. This deck has an amazing voice. I honestly got it for the Chariot in this deck. That's one of the things, besides the coloration, certain things really resonated and spoke with me in this. I love the feeling it has. The border is nice. It was just well thought out and well crafted. The deck has a very shadowy underlying, sort of like, what am I really saying? What underlies what I'm saying? The shadow, but the truth. What do you want to think of this? How do you want to approach this? How do you want to connect to this emotionally and spiritually? What makes you feel differently on this? What gives you feelings? And how are you going to use those feelings and energies in the magic and the mundane in your experience? It's going to help you to reflect. Reflect on your inner and your outer world, your relationships and experiences. That's what I find with this. Got a beautiful tactile finish to it. I love that image. There is nudity in it, but it's obviously artwork and collage, so yeah. But we're all adults here, at least watching this. I love this card. It's just the colorations and things speak to me so much against that black background. And if you're more into like the classical and artwork and historical art and imagery, this is a deck for you. But may not be a deck for everyone. I love this one of my favorite ones for many reasons. Speaks to me on different levels. Again, these speak, and these do actually, this deck, she does play, Lacrimossa does play well with other decks. And it certainly speaks to and connects with my goth side. Well, obviously I am a goth. Well, in my own way, you know what I mean. But yes. I'm going to get a little faster here. Some of the images don't resonate with me as much, but I can still overlook that. I still try to look at them from a different way and be more awakened and aware with what I do and maybe why does it not resonate with me. The root cause, so to say. And here's my favorite, the Chariot. I fucking love that Chariot. She is beautiful. One of my favorite chariots already. I'll show a few more. There's several walkthroughs and flip-throughs out there that are amazing of this deck. This is just my recommendation, my gnosis. I haven't done a lot of these videos and things like that, so I kind of feel compelled to, so why not? I love this one. You can feel the emotion and the experience of the card and the meaning in that. Look at that. That is so evocative. And what it invokes and evokes on that, and the feelings and the reflection. It's just, she's a very, very silent yet loud and clear deck, if that kind of makes sense. I guess she's got a well balance and she knows herself. Meaning the deck. I call my decks hers for the most part, because they are. Alright, and with that being said, I'm not doing a full flip through as there's many out there, but I do want to thank you for watching this. I do hope that if you're on the fence of this deck, you may consider it. Again, I give it a 9 out of 10. I would rebuy it again if I wanted to or had to. So there's something that speaks for itself. I also do want to thank you again for watching. I hope that if you find my videos, or even this one, and you resonate with them, with these videos, or mine, or my gnosis, or my collection, I would hope that you'd like to like, comment, and subscribe, as it helps my channel grow. Also, with that, I hope you all stay strange.